And now we are here.
On all three platforms.
Yes.
1, 2, and 3. Hello, folks. We're just getting ourselves together here, getting our act together and not taking it on the road. Trying to do it right here without going on the road at all.
Hello.
Hello.
It's all going to be all right.
Yeah. We're both a little sleep deprived today. And I can't say that because my daughter here is
you're
raising
allowed to also
infant.
be sleep deprived. I'm just slightly more sleep deprived than you is all. You know.
No contest. No contest.
No. Yes, we will talk about West Side Story. A whole
Yes.
bunch of people are asking about West Side Story.
Yep.
I promise that.
And about being the Ricardos.
Yes, we will get into both those things. Peace be with you, Eric. Howdy, Robert. Yes. Hang on.
I come in peace.
I come in peas.
I come in pieces, actually.
Peas
today.
on earth. It looks like everything is working, which is always happy for me.
Nice. How nice.
Yes. Oh my. Yes, apparently, because my little one deprived. What's that? Sleep deprived. Have not had enough of. Lacking in. We are lacking in sleep at the moment. Today is a very special day for our family, and I want you to know that we actually chose the time around this. I wanted to make sure we could still do our Sunday with everybody. But today, my daughter is having her Hebrew baby naming here at the house with our rabbi, and a couple of friends are going to come. And it's a really, really big deal for me because our incredible rabbi, our wonderful, wonderful rabbi, Rabbi David Barron, he gave me my Hebrew baby name when I was 3 weeks old. He performed my bat mitzvah when I was 13, and he performed the ceremony for my husband and I getting married here under the chuppah. So the Jewier way of saying that is, he gave me my Hebrew baby name, he bas mitzvahed me, and God willing, one day under the chuppah, he married me. That is how it worked in our family.
And now he's going to give Jessie's daughter.
And now, 35 years later, my rabbi will be here doing her Hebrew baby naming. And I am so excited and so happy that we get to have that happen. Because they say it's very special. You know, there are not a lot of traditions anymore. It's hard to come by on occasion. But this for me means a lot because of the rabbi and because of everything. So yeah, and the name you get to choose your baby's Hebrew name. It can have something to do with what your first name is. So my dad is Labe, which means lion in Hebrew, which suits you perfectly.
Well, hey.
Suits you perfectly. And my Hebrew name is Bina, Bena, because my middle name is Bennett, which is for my grandfather. My mom's dad, which is why my daughter Daisy, her middle name is Bea, also in honor of him.
In honor of him. His name is Ben.
His name was Ben. Her Hebrew name is going to be Keshet, which means rainbow.
Nice.
Because that's what she is. She is my little rainbow, our miracle. So yeah, that's what we'll be doing when we're done with you. Rabbi's coming over. So exciting. Very, very exciting. Anyway, getting into movie talk, which is why you're here. I have not seen much of anything outside of the house for obvious reasons. But you have, and you and Mommy have been really catching up on screeners as well. But you did get to see West Side Story in a theater.
Yes, we did, in a nice theater too.
Yeah.
And it's an extraordinarily well-made film, which is what you'd expect from Steven Spielberg and his A-list collaborators, including, and I still haven't read this officially, but it seemed to me that Stephen Sondheim wrote new lyrics for America and possibly for I Feel Pretty, additional lyrics.
Yes.
And because I heard stuff that I don't think I'd ever heard before. There's no specific
I will
credit.
say though, there are different. Do you remember we talked about this though?
Mhm.
That the version that I know is the stage version, and the version that you knew was the film version.
Right.
Do you remember we talked about
Yes,
this before?
yeah.
Because there were lyrics that I'd never heard and lyrics that you'd never heard, and it's because they're different from the film to the show. So it's a possibility that that's what it is.
Yes, it is. But on the other hand, while there's no credit for additional lyrics by, and there's credit for everything in these films. Now the credits go on for quite some time. But there is a separate thank you acknowledgement from Mr. Sondheim.
Yeah.
So I suspect that might be why. But that's speculation.
It could also just be because you're thanking.
Right.
There's never a bad time.
Yes.
To thank the maestro, is there?
And apparently he was known on when he visited as SS1.
Hilarious.
And Mr. Spielberg took the title SS2.
Hilarious.
Anyway, it's a very well-made film. It's a thoughtful adaptation by Tony Kushner of the original Arthur Lawrence book.
Yeah.
The music is so propulsive and so haunting and beautiful, and I had it in my head for days afterwards. That's what I take away.
Yeah.
Is not reintroducing, but reprising, to use a musical term.
Yeah.
All that great music. And I like the voices too.
You like the cast?
I like the cast, and I like their performances, their musical performances.
Yeah.
But somehow, emotionally, I checked out at a certain point. Now, of course, if you know, and a lot of people do, it's based on or inspired by Romeo and Juliet. If you've never seen another production of West Side Story, you know where it's headed.
Yeah, take a drink of water.
Yes.
I have to be on some of his medications make it so he can't. He has trouble speaking, so I have to remind him.
Yep.
The thing is, so Scott Mantz posted yesterday saying that the film is underperforming in the box office.
Vastly.
Yes, in a huge way. Apparently, the film cost $100 million, and so far it's only made $10 million.
Right. Less than In the Heights.
Yes, less than In the Heights. And now here's the thing. I hate numbers. Yeah. I hate them. I think that if that's all you're worried about, you're looking at the wrong thing.
Yeah.
I understand that if it is your film, I understand. I get that if you've made the movie, I get it.
Right.
But I don't know why everyone else cares.
No.
How much.
And you know who to blame.
Well.
You know who to blame.
Yeah.
The show where I worked for 30 years.
Yeah. Well.
Entertainment Tonight was accused, and I think accurately, of generating interest in box office numbers by reporting them every Monday. And I think it's a fair thing to say. Now the New York Times has already printed a best-selling book list for decades.
Yeah.
And this is the equivalent of that. So it's not evil.
No, but I think it's just a shame because it's not how it's not how I think anybody should look at something. And
we're not talking about the quality of the movie. We're talking
but the only reason I bring it up is that Scott sort of sent the question out into the world and said, "Why do you think it's underperforming?" And I was reading through some of the responses, and I thought they were pretty interesting. A number of people said, "I hate musicals," which is super useful. Okay, you don't like music, that's fine. That's fair answer. You don't like musicals, so you're not going to see the film. Fine. But then there was sort of like, well, nobody wanted this. Nobody wanted this film.
Because the play has already been adapted once as a movie in 1961, and very well done.
Yeah.
Then there are people who feel that this is setting certain wrongs right.
Some people feel because obviously this is different. It's the idea that went deep into making sure that all the actors and characters were Hispanic and represented properly, and they changed some of the language and blah blah blah. And for some people that matters a whole heap, and I understand that, and for some people it doesn't. But I just, as I say, reading through the responses, some people saying that, well, this is really meant for an older audience, and an older audience is not going to the movies right now because of COVID. Also interesting.
And it's only in theaters.
Yeah, it is only in, which is a big deal. So let me ask you guys, do you care about this movie? Do you want to see this movie? Do you plan on going to see this movie? These are my three questions for you.
Yeah.
How do you feel? We got one
in
yes.
In any case, I'm glad I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
I respect the film.
Yep.
And I admire
Yep.
Mr. Spielberg and Mr. Kushner.
Yeah.
And all the original creators.
Yeah.
And Rita Moreno does a very good job in a role created for her.
Yep.
And which takes the place of the store proprietor.
Yeah.
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 The Ned Glass role.
Yeah.
From the 1961 movie.
But
I too didn't yearn for another telling.
Yeah.
Of West Side Story.
And that's kind of the tricky thing, isn't it? Is that I really didn't think there needed to be another one. But I respect that someone did. And they've made it, and it's here now. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
That's
how I feel about so many remakes.
Yeah. Well, so there's a couple questions that you have. Yes, and people might be saving their money for Spider-Man next week. That is also an answer that some people gave.
Yeah.
Is that they're going to go see Spider-Man next weekend. We'll see, and inevitably that will have massive numbers because it just will. Did Jessie ever meet Walt Disney or Norma Shearer? Well, I definitely didn't meet Walt Disney because I'm too young. I'm 35, and he died 50 years ago.
December 66.
66. There you go. So unfortunately I did not. And I never met Norma Shearer. When did Norma Shearer go?
The early 80s.
Yeah. So no, unfortunately I did not meet either. Did you ever meet Norma Shearer?
No, I did not.
There you go. Unfortunately that is a no, if only.
In fact, she was one of the first obits that I prepared for E.T.
Man.
In 1982, I believe. Yeah. 82 for sure.
Oh, Ryan is saying 55 years this Wednesday. Yeah. It's so unfortunately, no, I'm not old enough. I wish that I was. Let's see. Yeah. So Ken is saying, dear Hollywood, please stop remaking movies that are perfect. Please start remaking movies that were good but could be made great. Yeah. I mean, and this is also with all the TV shows. It's crazy, isn't it, to see how many shows are being rebooted, restarted. We interviewed Corbin Burnson the other day. He's going to be an upcoming episode of our podcast. And he was telling us that he is I don't know if they finished filming or if they're filming currently the new version of LA Law.
And he was not automatically going to do it.
Yeah.
But he read the script and really liked what they did. He really liked the take that they had on the original.
Yeah.
So he's agreed to be part of it.
And he's really impressed with the script. And talked at length about just that it meant a lot to him because LA Law was such a big piece of his life, that it really means a lot to him that he gets to now do this, which is fascinating. Cricket is saying even Netflix canceled Cowboy Bebop. Yeah, Cowboy Bebop, which my God, did they promote the hell out of that for Netflix. And then it died, I guess. Again, so interesting what is taken away and what is left. But yes, so there you have a new LA Law coming. There's the new Dexter, which at least with this, it's supposed to be years later and catching up with him. But it is true. It's like you don't have there's nothing new. We have to remake everything. Okay.
Yeah. John Huston used to say that he wouldn't mind if they remade films that he failed at.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I think that's what one of
not remaking good films into great, remaking misfires.
Yeah, taking it and trying again. No, it's interesting. Now we'll see. And this is something that I did think about. Someone here is saying that his mother was disappointed because she wanted to see West Side Story, but she's 90 and can't go to a theater right now.
Mhm.
I did think a bit about that, to be honest with you. I did think that there's a possibility that they should, and now I understand why they wouldn't want. I understand why they wouldn't want it to come to homes yet. At
Mhm.
the same time, a majority of your audience is probably going to want to watch it and can't go to a theater. So that's, so it's the same with my almost 102-year-old grandma. Well, first of all, kinna her to your grandma. Bless her. That's amazing to get to that age. My goodness. But yeah, there's, as they say, I don't know. It's a tricky thing. I'm glad that you and mommy liked it.
Yeah,
I'm glad you guys
I have
enjoyed
my
West Side
reservations
Story.
about it, but
You
as I
know,
say, emotionally, it
it just didn't.
I sort of left the building at a certain point.
Yeah. Again, it's tricky.
Again, familiarity, is an issue there.
Yeah. On the other hand, you and mommy watched Being the Ricardos, which has gotten a huge, huge, huge response from people.
It's really good.
And I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to. Again, I haven't left the house to watch movies.
And I'm going to say something that's going to surprise a lot of people. Nicole Kidman nails Lucille Ball. She absolutely gets it right.
Yeah.
And it's the voice more than anything else. But the whole
persona of Lucy.
Yes, and on camera and off, mostly off.
Yeah.
There's very little recreated. I mean, little snippets are recreated from the I Love Lucy show in black and white.
Yeah.
And Javier Bardem is very good too. What I like about this film, last night we watched Respect, which is not a new opening, but we watched it because we went to a.
That's the new Aretha Franklin film that stars Jennifer Hudson.
And we met Jennifer Hudson the other night at a big whoop-de-doo for Black performers and filmmakers.
Mm-hmm.
And
a celebration of Black cinema.
Yep. And we had such a nice talk with her.
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, maybe I should watch this film. And it almost works. It almost works.
It's tricky.
I do not like showbiz biographies on the whole, biographical movies or biopics, if you prefer. And this is an example of why. Not her fault. Absolutely not her fault. She gives a terrific performance as an actress and as a singer, and it starts out very, very interesting, and she had quite a life, but then it falls back on biopic tropes, as we say. I don't want to say cliches, and it's too damn long.
Well, as we know, that can be said about pretty much every film that's coming out.
Yes. And I want to institute a bonus plan for any filmmaker who comes in under 2 hours.
You should do it.
I should do it.
You should do it personally. You will deliver one of those giant checks. What was the sweepstakes? Publishers Clearinghouse, a giant check to anyone who actually makes a movie.
Leonard's Clearinghouse.
That's right. You can even go to the full 120. We'll give you the full 120, but once you get to 121, once we get to 2 hours and that extra minute, you're out. I'm so sorry.
Right, here's my story about. When I was growing, West Side Story, perfect example of a movie that was roadshown, I guess.
Sure.
Roadshow attractions were what they also called hard ticket attractions. A film like West Side Story debuted in one theater in Manhattan. One. And you bought tickets for a matinee or evening performance as if you were going to the theater. It's a legitimate theater.
Mm-hmm.
And it had an overture, an intermission, an exit music, all of that, all the trimmings. And the intermission was key. These films tended not to be short. And so intermissions were built into them. Not just musicals, Lawrence of Arabia, other epic films had intermissions. And that has sort of gone by the wayside.
Yeah.
And when I interviewed Peter Jackson on the eve of the final Lord of the Rings film, the end of the trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
I asked him, not judgmentally, I said, did he ever consider putting in an intermission? Because this film was over 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, you know, when it looked like it was going to be 3 hours and 21 minutes, we had it. We figured out a way to do an intermission. But then when we cut it back to like 3 hours and 9 minutes, we said, no, it's okay.
Hilarious. Hilarious.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Oh, God. I don't want to lose this because a few of you are talking about the fact that Tom Holland is going to play Fred Astaire in an upcoming film. Now, there's how this happens where there's two at a time. I will never understand.
Yeah, I don't get that.
But there are two Fred Astaire films that are apparently in the making. And yes, in one of them, Tom Holland is going to play Fred Astaire. Well, here's the thing. Part one, Nick is saying, can he even dance? He's an incredible dancer. Tom Holland got his start. Well, first of all, he is a ballerino. He is a gymnast. And one of his first big breaks was playing Billy Elliot. And he was fantastic. He's a beautiful dancer. So I know that at least in terms of that physicality, yes, absolutely, he can play Fred Astaire in that sense. Everything else, who knows? You know, I don't really know that I want a Fred Astaire film.
I don't.
That's not something I
I'll
want.
go on the record. I don't.
But we'll see. Now, Ben is saying that that in Fred Astaire's will, it was specified that he did not want a biopic made. I don't know if that's true or not. I've never heard that before.
Well, I do know that his wife, now widow, Robin.
Oh, she's fierce.
Is
she's
very protective.
Fierce.
So I don't know which or if either of these films, is under her domain. But show business, and yet every now and then, the Stan and Ollie movie, which we keep touting, has two superlative performances.
Yeah.
By John C. Reilly and Steve Coogan.
Yeah.
And they're just so
damn good.
Yes,
it can happen.
In the case of Being the Ricardos, the person who made the biggest difference, besides the actors, is Aaron Sorkin.
Yeah.
Aaron Sorkin figured out a way to tell the story he wanted to tell in a way that makes sense.
Yeah.
That is provocative. That that captures you. The movie is still too long because it has some lulls in it.
Yeah.
And so compression is not a bad thing. In pruning your script or figuring out what absolutely has to be there.
Yeah.
And what maybe doesn't have to be there.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that in a wise guy way. I have great admiration for Aaron Sorkin and other creators of these films, but if you're dragging, or your audience is losing full attention,
that's
not a good thing.
Someone here says Paolo Kerke Usai says the perfect movie is 87 minutes. Well, Paolo knows what he's talking about.
Yes,
Paolo knows.
Yes. Paolo, I think, was at the Telluride Film Festival when we showed 7 Men from Now. Yeah. Which I just talked about a week or two ago here. 78 minutes. Perfect.
It's all we could want. It's all we could really want. Sounds like Sorkin went out to make a good movie and allowed the audience to make it great. Well, I was intrigued. I think we all were when we first heard that Aaron Sorkin was making an I Love Lucy movie. And I say it that way because that's how it was initially when it went out. It was that he's doing a movie about I Love Lucy, which was like, what? And then as slowly as the news, started to, then they said, oh, it wants to make a movie about Lucy and Desi. Okay. But I definitely thought, I just would have never expected that from him.
Yeah.
I would have never expected that.
By the way, he, of course, is a huge musical.
Yes.
Fan.
Yeah.
So you'd almost sooner expect him to make a musical.
Yeah.
Than to do this kind of film.
Yeah. It's just very interesting, I think, to sort of see his take on something I just never would have expected him to do.
Yeah. and it's a very cleverly
Yeah.
plotted movie. I have one bone to pick with Mr. Sorkin.
Oh no, it's 2 bones technically.
Well, yeah.
2 bones.
Okay. Lucy, we meet. Well, ultimately, there are flashbacks. It takes place during one calendar week in the life of the TV show I Love Lucy and the people who made it. And then there are flashbacks. And one of the flashbacks is back to the early 40s when Lucy, who was never well served by Hollywood, finally gets a good part in a movie called The Big Street, opposite Henry Fonda. And she is celebrating the fact that she's been getting good reviews and her sort of stock has risen and her self-confidence has risen with it. But RKO fires her because they had nothing for her to do. And she's grumbling about this and says, why can't I get the parts that Crawford or Hayworth or Judy Holliday are getting? And then later she makes another snide remark about Judy Holliday, who didn't set foot on screen until 1949 in Adam's Rib. So why would Lucy be talking about Judy Holliday? She hadn't even made her Broadway debut in Born Yesterday. It stands out like neon.
It's an oddly specific thing to put in. Hi, Mabel. What you doing, Mapes? She's just standing behind your head, letting you know I'm here. Even
Rita Hayworth wasn't a leading lady of stature at that moment. She was just on the cusp.
Yeah. I'd actually be interested to see a Desi Arnaz biopic without half or more of the focus on Lucy. Yeah, well, again, it's as I got older, I, like a lot of people, grew up watching I Love Lucy because it was on every single day after school. It came on at 4:00. There were 2 episodes, 4:00 and 4:30, and 5:00. The Simpsons came on. So when I would come home from school, I would watch 2 episodes of I Love Lucy, 2 episodes of The Simpsons. So I knew every episode of I Love Lucy backwards and forwards.
And one of them was swell, and one of them was lousy.
If it's a joke from the show, so I knew them well, and obviously, as you get older and you start to really learn about her and learn about what she did, what she accomplished, and why it was such a big deal. And then, of course, the fact that my dad worked at Paramount, and driving to Paramount, you pass Desi Lou, which is their production company. So there's a lot of history that I sort of got over time, and then really became fascinated with both of them because they both did so much. And of course, it's a big deal for her because she was a woman. And at the time, that was huge. But at the same time, he was an immigrant. You know, he's a Cuban coming to America. And
an upper class.
Yeah. Very bright family.
Yeah.
Rum, right?
No.
I thought that was in there too.
I don't trust me today.
That's okay. Anyway. Yeah, I would also love to see more about Desi. I think that'd be really interesting, for sure. 1 second. Sorry, just making sure I'm getting some of these questions. I know you guys are asking a lot. Are there any movies you're super excited for but haven't seen yet? Oh, yeah.
Oh, quite a lot. I'm behind on my animated features.
We haven't seen Encanto yet.
Encanto. Or The Mitchells versus the Machines.
Which I've seen.
Okay.
I liked Mitchells versus the Machine. I didn't think it was fantastic, but I liked it.
I liked Luca very much.
Well, Luca's wonderful.
Yeah.
Luca's a great one.
But there's several others I still haven't seen.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else is coming. My dad has been in the middle of voting chaos because so he's a member of the LA Film Critics Association. They're voting on your birthday, which is this coming Saturday. And then you just turned in your voting for the Critics' Choice
Association.
So yeah.
And the AFI.
Yeah, and AFI. So we're in the middle of he's playing catch up with as much as he can. But yeah, I'm trying to think of what you haven't seen that you wanted to see.
A lot of docs.
Oh, well, yeah. That's always a bit tricky. What was going to be in your Netflix that you were going to watch? You're asking me how it goes on there. What did you watch there? Do you remember? Was that Respect or was that something else?
No, it was when we watched the night before.
I don't remember anymore. You guys have been watching so much.
Anyway.
Have you seen Val? Oh, the Val Kilmer
Yes, I
film.
have seen Val.
Yeah.
I was a little underwhelmed with Val.
Hang on. Mabel, stop stealing the stuff. Here's the problem with having dogs and a baby. The dogs think that all the baby's toys are their toys. So I'm watching them play with some shoes that a friend gave us. Tricky and hilarious, these two. Wasn't there a movie based on Desi several years ago, the Something Brothers?
Oh no! That was a work of fiction. With
the Mambo Boys.
Yeah,
there you go, the Mambo Boys. Mambo
Kings.
Mambo Kings.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's just go with it, whatever it is. But yeah, I don't know. That would be cool. I had a lot of fun with Cruella.
I'm glad someone did.
They did. I didn't bother watching Cruella. They really didn't like Cruella. Yeah, as I say, there's so much. It always comes to this part of the year where it's sort of this onslaught, and you just try your best to keep up with all of the movies that are happening.
And then over the holidays is when we get to sort of kick back.
Yeah.
And just watch what we feel like watching.
Yeah.
Not because I have to see it, but because I want to see it.
Once all your voting is done.
Yeah.
You have everything squared away, then you can just watch what you feel like watching.
Yeah.
But for now, he still has to do all the worky bits.
Yeah.
But,
the worky bits.
The worky bits. Well, it's true.
Sure.
You have to get through stuff. It is funny. So a tiny bit of inside baseball, but not really. They had said that they, meaning the various, the Academy, different folks who normally send out screeners. Now, screeners are what we get from basically usually, it used to be November. Now it's even October. They're screeners. They're copies of the films that they want you to watch. And they send them to you to make sure that you see them. If you can't make it to a theater, they want to make sure you see them.
Yeah.
We've told stories about this before. When I was growing up at my school, because I grew up here, we would all trade screeners at school. We'd bring our VHS in our backpack and we'd trade tapes. And our teachers would ask us to bring certain things in. My English teacher would say, it's like, oh, could you bring me this, that, the other? Yeah, sure, no problem.
Then when it went from VHS to DVD, they were able to watermark the DVDs. So they're individually issued to you. And if you should give it to a neighbor,
copy, have it shown somewhere, they threaten you with all kinds of legal mumbo jumbo. Yeah, you can't even imagine.
And yet they send 3 and 4 copies of the same.
So this is the thing. So last year they announced we're not sending out screeners. We're only doing links. Links are the worst thing that's ever happened to film, honest to God. Because, and I always think about this, imagine you're a filmmaker, right? And you've spent anywhere from 2 to 10 to 20 years getting a film made, right? Well, then part one, the fact that someone is getting your film as a link, as opposed to seeing it in a theater properly, that already has to burn a little bit. Then you find out they're not even getting a DVD that in theory should work. They're getting a link, which expires, which half the time you're watching something and it stops in the middle and you can't get it to work again. I cannot count how many times we haven't been able to watch something because it was sent.
Dual factor authentication.
And
a phrase I never thought I would utter.
And you wish you didn't ever have to hear ever again. But this is the thing, is it's just so frustrating because, as I say, for the people who kill themselves making these movies, the idea that this is how we're trying to watch stuff. Well, so they made that announcement, things are going to be links. I think that people must have just said, no. No, you will not, because as usual, we have a million discs.
And some smart people at the studios and at the PR companies and all that said, a number of Academy members are not necessarily computer savvy.
Oh yeah.
And if you really want your film to be seen,
this is
send a DVD. They know how to put a DVD in the machine and watch it.
Okay. Mabel, please don't eat those. Look at her. She's like, what did I do? As I say, dogs. That's our house is full of dogs. Mabel, she's gonna. The other day she coughed up some styrofoam. I thought, this is ideal. This is what we dream of. Anyway, but yeah, you for the most part have liked a lot of what you've seen recently. You haven't hated much, which is always a bonus. Other than Mother really not liking licorice pizza.
Right.
Did you finish Flea?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and did you like it?
Flea is very good. I'd vote for it more on the basis of it being a documentary
Yeah,
than it being a great piece of animation.
yeah,
The idea to tell the story using
very
animation
clever.
is indeed clever and well executed, but it is not,
Yeah,
outstanding animation per se.
which is what I have. When I saw the trailer for it, I didn't feel that they were pushing the animation side.
Yeah, yeah.
I felt that it was a documentary.
It's a
and
story.
It was
It's a
interesting.
story of a refugee, and his long, sad,
Yeah,
uh, experiences getting out of Afghanistan.
yeah. Steph says Stephanie Asher, who I have known since is it considered pre-K, beginners, nursery school? So wouldn't it be funny if VHS screeners made a comeback? I wish. I would happily take a VHS screener. I bet it wouldn't break half as much as all the other stuff. Why didn't Alice like licorice pizza? She didn't like the actors, and she didn't like the words, and she didn't like. I don't know. Don't think she liked anything about it.
No,
No,
pretty much no.
So that's all I can say. Not a big fan.
The new digital issue of the New Yorker is devoted almost entirely to that film and to the people to Paul Thomas Anderson,
Yeah.
and to others involved with the movie. I look forward to reading that and other stuff. They've been publishing a lot of good movie-related articles lately.
Craig's got a list here. He says, thoughts on Power of the Dog. I'll go through your list. Okay, Power of the Dog.
Not for me.
Not for you. My mother didn't like it. My husband thought it was good. I have not seen it.
And Benedict Cumberbatch, who's a fine actor who I usually like, he gives a good performance, but I didn't think it was the second coming, as some people are treating.
Yeah,
it.
some people have said it's the greatest. It's the greatest one he's ever done. Meh. Is Alice a Paul Thomas Anderson fan? In general, I don't. Mom, do you like Paul Thomas Anderson in general? Yes, she do. Yes, she do. She says she do. Okay. Power of the Dog, meh from both parents. Husband liked it. King Richard, you both liked it.
Very good.
And you understand why
Yes.
he's getting. Oh, Joe, you're coming in just a little late. Joe just said thoughts on the new Lucy film. We just did a whole thing. But I can see that you're watching on YouTube, so you can always back up a little bit and listen to what he said about it. King Richard, you both like very much, and you understand why Will is getting the praise that he's getting.
It's a terrific performance from Will Smith.
Yes.
And a real feather in the cap for Marcus Ronaldo Green. It's a relative newcomer.
Oh, yes. But
directorial ranks, and this will be his calling card, I suspect.
Yes. 1 second. Reynaldo Marcus Green.
Yeah.
You got it. Trust yourself.
Sort of.
Enough. You got it enough, which is really, again, especially today. I'm very proud of you. All right. Oh, sorry. Can't lose it. 1 second. Let's see. House of Gucci. You didn't watch it. Mommy did.
Yeah.
Don't
look up. That's what we saw the night before.
Oh, there. Okay. So hang on. Mom? Yes. House of Gucci, yay or nay? Nay. That was a very loud nay if you couldn't hear it. The reason my mom's over there, by the way, is she's preparing for the ceremony later on, the baby naming. So she's preparing food and stuff. So that was a big nay from Alice on House of Gucci. I do want to watch it. I just haven't yet.
Don't Look Up, I think, is getting a raw deal.
Yeah.
From critics.
That's the Leonardo DiCaprio,
Adam McKay movie.
Yeah.
And it's got
Jennifer Lawrence's return to the big screen.
Yes. Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, a hilarious Mark Rylance, Meryl Streep as the
Yeah.
President of the United States.
I'd take it.
Kate Blanchett, Tyler Perry. It's a wild cast,
Mm.
and I found it very, very funny.
Okay.
It's a farcical satire. I'll let it go with that.
So you like that?
Yeah.
Does Mommy like it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Again, I'm always pleased when they both like something or both dislike something because it generally gives me a sense of what I'm looking at. Last Duel. You
No,
haven't seen that
I
yet.
haven't seen that. That's
No.
Ridley Scott's movie.
Yeah.
Which I missed on an original release. So
Yes.
that's another one I have to catch up with.
And then Benedetta. You seen that?
No, that's the new
No.
Paul Verhoeven movie.
Yeah.
I've not seen that yet.
Have not seen that guy yet. Yeah, haven't been able to see that. You also haven't seen Raya. Someone else asked about Raya.
Right.
Have not seen that. Yes, we all saw Belfast. We all got to see Belfast in Telluride. My mom cried a lot. Me, my dad, and my husband, we all liked the film, but did not like it the way some people are.
No, it's been embraced by
Yeah.
a lot of people, and it's
The good performances. Jude Hill, the kid in it,
the
is
kid is great.
Katrina Belfi, I like her so much.
Mhm.
I think she does a beautiful job. But no, I didn't think the film.
It's it's a subject that usually, well, it's about Northern Ireland and the Troubles, and it's told from the point of view of a 9-year-old boy, which is Kenneth Branagh's autobiographical take
Yeah.
on all of this. It's pleasant, which is not a word you expect to use the film about and set in Belfast.
No. Rephrase that. Set in Belfast at that time.
At that time.
At that
exactly,
time.
Exactly.
Belfast is a beautiful place. But
Yes. You've spent a lot of time
yeah,
there.
I lived there for a while.
Yeah. No, I'm not a rooter. I'm not a fan.
I don't get that. I also don't understand why they're pushing Jamie Dornan so hard when he has such a small part in the film. I really don't get that. They're pushing him so hard and he's not in the movie that much. Doesn't make sense. Whatever. Red Rocket. I have not gotten to see Red Rocket yet.
Disappointing.
You got to see it. We have so much respect for Sean Baker and Chris Bergosh, who is the writer. But
they collaborate on this.
Yeah, and on all the other.
Yeah.
You were not a fan.
No, I didn't.
Didn't work for you.
Didn't work for me.
Yeah. Robert's asking if Belfast is better than 71. They're two completely different things.
Oh no, I think 71 is.
71's incredible. It's incredible.
Exceptional.
But see, this movie is more about the personal experience. It's less about the Troubles. It doesn't explain the Troubles to you.
It's about a family.
It's personal. It's about a specific family and a specific area. So yeah, I don't think that you would watch 70. I don't think you would watch Belfast and suddenly know everything about the Troubles. But 71 is an incredible film. Have you seen French Dispatch? Yes, you guys did.
Yes.
And neither of you liked it.
No. I like everybody in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's another incredible cast gathered by Wes Anderson because everybody loves working with Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
He creates a joyous communal experience for the actors that he invites over and over again to be part of his film. But it didn't.
It didn't work for you.
No, I wish I had another phrase, but that's the phrase I'm going to sit with for now.
Yeah. Have you seen Joe Bell?
No.
Is that the Matt Damon one? No, sorry. Which is it's too many movies. Which is the one? 1 second. Mark Wahlberg. Oh yes, this is the Mark Wahlberg one based on the true story. No, I wanted to see it and didn't. It's another one of those. I would like to see the movie, but I haven't yet. Do you know which one we're talking about? Where the guy, his gay son is bullied to death basically, and he walks across the country raising awareness. No, it looks like a really beautiful film. I just haven't gotten to see it yet, and neither of you. Have you discussed Tick, Tick, Boom? We did the other day.
I was just knocked out by Andrew Garfield.
He's so talented. He is so damn talented, man.
What a incredible performance.
Yes, Craig. I was thinking of Stillwater. Yes, yes.
Right.
Haven't seen that either. Too many things. But yeah.
I did not love Tick, Tick, Boom because I didn't care enough about Jonathan Larson.
Mm-hmm.
And the film didn't make me care more than I did going in.
But like most people, you thought Lin-Manuel did a good job
Oh, yeah.
directing.
Oh,
his
yeah.
Directorial debut.
Mm-hmm.
He did a good job with it.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing about it that's bad.
No.
It just really like with any biopic to a certain degree, you have to care somewhat about the person, and if you don't, or if it doesn't help you feel that way, then sometimes the connection just doesn't happen. But yeah, he has not seen Encanto yet. No to Encanto at the moment. Let me pull up some questions. Ryan is wishing you a happy early birthday.
Oh, thank you. Thank you,
This
Ryan.
next Saturday is my dad's birthday, and we will be celebrating by going to Solvang, which, if you know California, Solvang is this beautiful little town. And my mother-in-law comes to town on Tuesday. She's going to meet her granddaughter for the first time, which is very, very exciting. Schlepping all the way from Wales to be here with us. And I can't wait. Could one NFT, non-fungible token, represent a whole movie or even significant scenes from it? This has been a conversation, amazingly enough, that a lot of people are having. I don't know. This whole NFT, I
still
don't
don't get it.
know. I don't know.
I feel like I'm out in the cold.
Yeah, no, it's too much. I don't know. NFTs, we'll see what the hell happens with them, but good grief, no. Leash is asking about Mass from Bleecker Street. Well, we got to you did see Mass. That's the one we interviewed Ann Dowd.
Oh, yes.
The film.
Very good film.
Yeah.
4-character film. 2 families, 2 couples coming together under very emotionally fraught circumstances. And it was Reed Birney, Ann Dowd, Jason Isaac, and
Toni Collette? Isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
It's Toni Collette, isn't it?
I don't trust my brain.
I'm telling you. This is also, though, again, what happens this time of year is Martha Plimpton.
Yeah.
Martha Plimpton. There's so much going on this time of year that your brain just goes to mush. It's too many movies all at once. Anyway.
Mass is well worth seeing.
Yeah, you're both taken with that. And it's such a good cast. How could you not, What did you think of Michael, is it Barrier or Barrier, biography of Walt?
Barrier. I never actually read his, it's on my shelf, but I never got around to reading it. Mike Barrier is a great animation historian and researcher. And so I'm sure there's a lot of value in that book.
Yeah. Harrison says, your new signed book will be under my Christmas tree. Haven't peeked. That's wonderful. I hope you enjoy it.
Oh, you mean?
Oh, he's reaching for it. You can do it.
You mean that book?
That was almost smooth. That was very nearly smooth.
Yes.
Oh, hi, Logan.
Oh, dear Logan. Yes, this book.
Yes, this book. We know this book.
I've been signing a lot of copies.
You have, which I love. And again, you can purchase a copy of the book from Larry Edmonds' bookshop. And if you do that, my dad will sign it and sign it to you. So you are not only supporting a real brick and mortar bookstore and a wonderful bookstore at that, but you also get your signed copy of the book.
But no strong objection to you purchasing it in some other way.
Oh, you purchase it however you want. But yes, happy to have that. Ghostbuster Afterlife. You liked it?
Yes. And another one that got a drubbing from critics.
Mm-hmm.
And I read about that the day after I showed it in my class.
Yeah.
It was the last night of my USC semester. And Jason Reitman, who directed and co-wrote it,
was his guest.
And several critics said seems to have contempt for its target audience. I don't get that at all. And it is a very personal film for Jason, whose father, of course, Ivan, made the original movie in '84. And it's a slow burn. It takes its time warming up, but when it does, I think it's I think it's very entertaining, and surprisingly, um,
Sentimental.
no, not just that's not the word I was looking for. A surprisingly rich backstory.
I'm, s-
All these
I'm
dogs.
sorry. No, Mabel just stole something from Logan while he was looking away, and it was just really funny. I apologize. Again, the two Muppets. But yes, you liked it very much. Trying to get through. Let's see. Nightmare Alley. Yes, you saw it,
Not supposed to talk about it yet.
but you liked it very much.
Yes.
So we can't go into detail yet, but he liked it very much. Did you see Eleanor Coppola's film Love, Love, Love?
No, I want to.
But you did see A Hero, right? You saw the Iranian film A Hero? Oh, I thought you did.
It's still
Okay.
on the front
But
burner.
that's on the again. This is the time of year when we just have a stack of movies to get through. But man, oh man, there's good stuff. There's stuff to be excited about. Come on, come on. They were not fans.
No,
Let's put it that way.
exasperating.
What do you consider to be the greatest?
Red Notice. Someone's asking about Red Notice,
Oh.
which I also showed in
Yes,
in
yes,
class. And Ross and Marshall Thurber, the director, came to class. Very engaging guy, and I found it very contrived. Very, very contrived.
Yeah.
I mean, it was written for those stars.
Yeah.
For Dwayne Johnson and
Ryan
Gal
Reynolds.
Gadot and Ryan Reynolds, and so it shows them off well. But
What do you consider to be the greatest sequel of all time?
the greatest sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Well, almost everybody would say The Godfather Part 2. You got very little argument there.
I would say Addams Family 2.
Toy Story 2.
Addams Family 2, greatest sequel of all time. Great. I mean, honestly, tell me that those two movies are not brilliant. I dare you. Don't, because I'll fight you over
I just
it.
started listening to Barry Sonnenfeld on Gilbert Gottfried's
Amazing
Colossal podcast, and I'm looking forward to listening to the rest of that.
I will stand by. I will stand by. Yes, it's something with Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, there's a lot. The truth is, there are a number of movies that have done it well. It's just rare, and not something I recommend. Oh, I've owned many editions of this since the late 60s, early 70s, and it's he's got a photo here of my dad's movie guide from 1994. My friends and I always referred to it as the Bible. This was the last one I bought. Then came IMDb. I miss the books. You? Question mark. Yes.
I miss having the books. I'm not sure I miss doing them.
Everything's fine.
Um,
You do.
45 years of my life.
Yeah.
45 years of my life, from the age of 17 to whenever you can do the math.
I can't do the math, but I trust you.
It's like that joke about someone meets a writer and says, "Oh, do you enjoy writing?" "No, but I enjoy having written."
Yeah, there you go.
And
No, what I will say to you is that book existed longer than I did. And I was born into that book and started working on that book as a little kid. And galley proofs all over the house. Deadlines, all of that stuff.
Progressive deadlines.
Yeah.
The only way to turn out a book that thick, on an annual basis, was to have a regimen in place with the production team at Penguin in New York City, where we would leave spaces open for films that were going to be released through the spring, so we could cover at least the early summer releases in May.
You could sometimes get into early June.
Yeah.
You could sometimes get into early June.
And then at the last minute, they decide to postpone the release. Have to fill that space somehow.
Man.
And then once, on at least one occasion, they changed the title of the movie. We figured out a way. As
I say, it was a very big part of our lives, obviously very part of your life, but also mine, because I didn't know anything else. I always knew that book. So yeah, I miss doing it. I miss having it be a part of us. But it was a massive undertaking. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't buy books anymore. But it will always be something that's important and precious, you know?
Yep.
But yeah, we both owe the guide. You always knew when a box of the new ones came in because none of us could lift it up. Those books still make excellent doorstops. I will stand by
Yes.
that. They're massive. Matt says, I'm fond of David Lean's earlier films, smaller films before the big epic stories with deserts and bridges. Do you have a director whose work you admire from a particular time in his or her filmography?
Well, that's a very good question, which is what you say when you're trying to think of the answer to a question. Ooh, that's a good
That's
question.
a good
Yeah.
question.
But it is. And,
Yeah.
well,
Your favorite directors are folks like Billy Wilder and Mr. Ford.
yes, John Ford and Preston Sturges and Joseph L. Mankiewicz and people of that era.
Mhm.
But I admire Paul Thomas Anderson. I admire Wes Anderson. Anyone named Anderson.
Anyone named Anderson, we're for them.
Oh, you know what we saw recently? We just caught up with Last Night in Soho.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh,
we didn't talk about
no,
that?
that's right. No, you told me. That's right.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to watch it. You guys haven't told me much about it.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
There's brilliance in that movie.
Yeah.
Edgar Wright's movie. There's brilliance in that movie.
Nick says Zemeckis before he thought mo capture was the future at one point. Yes. Well. No.
That's an interesting career.
Mm.
When he was working with his writing partner Bob Gale, writing producing partner, they made a film called Used Cars that I just loved, and I still probably would.
TCM is showing several very early Lubitsch movies tonight and tomorrow. Do you have any recommendations?
Watch them all.
And have you ever seen Rosita with Mary Pickford?
Yes, I finally did. It took many years to get to see that. And it had Mary Pickford didn't like it, apparently. And so she sort of poisoned the well, and it couldn't be seen. It's good. It's good.
Reds, the 40th anniversary edition, and Heaven Can Wait just came out on Blu-ray. What is your favorite Warren Beatty movie?
Bulworth.
It's such a good movie.
Such a good movie. Putting Bonnie and Clyde aside, because that's a gem for all time. Bulworth is a terrific movie, and I think he was inspired when he made that movie. Daring, ballsy movie.
Jim says, hi from still standing St. Louis. Bless you. Jesus, all of these tornadoes. I can't. With the remake coming out on Friday, are you a fan of the original Nightmare Alley with Tyrone Power?
Yes, I am. My wife too. And the only thing that hampered our watching the new one, which I'm not going to talk about, is that we sort of knew how it ended.
Yeah, which is always tricky.
I haven't read the original novel. I'm reading an article right now about the writer of that novel, and learning things that I didn't know. But if you haven't seen it, it's quite good. And that was a daring performance for Tyrone Power, and it was a daring decision for Daryl Zanuck to make, to put him in that movie. It was after the war. He served in World War II, and he made two prestige pictures: The Razor's Edge, based on the Somerset Maugham novel, and Nightmare Alley, and they were both atypical, not popcorn movies, but they showed a wider range of talent than people may have suspected, because he was such a handsome guy. But he was more than that.
Yeah, still is. Still a handsome man. Last question, and then we have to go finish getting ready. It is Frank Sinatra's birthday. What is one of your favorite Frank Sinatra films?
Oh, gosh.
I think you know mine. One of my favorite musicals.
On the Town.
Yeah. I love On the Town. I love the musical On the Town. I love it. Nancy Walker. Nancy Walker and Ethel Merman are my two, like, one of those, like, if you could meet someone who's no longer alive, Nancy Walker and Ethel Merman, those are mine.
Except She's not in the movie.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
It's yeah. On the Town, one of my favorite. I love all of that.
I can't pinpoint. Sinatra was in so many good movies. Ah,
What's the first one that comes to mind?
Anchors Away.
Okay. Not a bad one, is it?
Not a great movie, but has great songs.
Yep.
Great energy.
I think that's a solid answer.
Yeah.
You're allowed to enjoy it. You know, what I find really interesting with Frank Sinatra is that considering the voice that he had, and then he was just this skinny, which is why the cartoons are so funny, of course.
Yes.
The cartoon, you know, he has this beautiful big voice and he's just this skinny little fella. So when you watch him early, you go, oh my goodness.
I teach at Frank Sinatra Hall.
Yes.
On the USC campus. And it's called that. It was named that like 15 years ago or so, because Mr. Sinatra's 3 children, surviving children, Frank Jr. was alive then, donated all of his memorabilia to USC School of Cinema. All. And I mean his Oscars.
Oscars are there,
his
everything.
Emmys, all his gold and platinum albums, which are on display. Family photos from Hoboken, New Jersey, letters from FDR, personal letters from so many presidents. And we have a display cabinet, several display cabinets, where they kind of rotate.
Yeah, you see different
because
stuff.
There's so much to see. So I'm very proud. They also renovated the auditorium.
Yes.
So I'm very proud to teach there. And that's why when the students are filing in, every week we're playing Sinatra, the public address system.
Never a bad time.
Nope.
As always, friends, thank you for joining us.
One unrelated note.
Okay.
Unrelated note. If you're in a West Side Story mood and you haven't heard or you don't own the Oscar Peterson Trio's album, the jazz interpretations of West Side Story, do yourself a favor and download that or go and buy an old vinyl copy somewhere. It's quite wonderful. It's quite wonderful.
Well, there you go.
All right.
So I say thank you as always for joining us. We love spending our Sundays with you. I hope everyone stays safe. Again, if you're in any way affected by these tornadoes, bless every single one of you. What a nightmare. And I'm sorry it's happening during the holidays, because I swear sometimes it's like a joke that's not funny. Be safe. We will see you next Sunday. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Be kind.
Bye, everybody.